Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is absolutely foundational for any successful hypnotherapist. Yet, honestly, it's often the very thing left out of training. We spend so much time mastering inductions and therapeutic interventions, but there's a dual identity we really have to embrace here. We need to be highly skilled practitioners, sure, but we also have to be highly effective business owners. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want to pose a quick question to you. When does therapy actually begin? Think about it for a second. It's super tempting to assume it kicks off the moment the client closes their eyes and you start an induction. But that is a massive misconception. Therapy actually begins at the very first point of contact. Every single interaction your client has with you and your business contributes to their overall therapeutic experience, long before they ever enter a trance state. To get a handle on managing all those interactions, let's establish our baseline vocabulary. So, what is practice management? It's the systems and processes used to organize and operate a professional therapy practice. I want you to think of this like a giant iceberg. The hypnosis induction, the actual clinical intervention, is just the visible tip resting above the water. But effective practice management? That is the massive, invisible structure underneath the surface holding the entire thing up. It protects you by reducing misunderstandings, and it allows both you and your client to focus completely on the therapeutic process.
Let's move into Section 1, First Impressions Matter. We're going to take a look at the front-of-house client journey. Research consistently shows that we form impressions in mere milliseconds. So let's map out what this rapid client journey actually looks like in practice. Notice just how much happens before they even sit down. It starts at your website or social media page. Then it moves to the phone call or the booking process. Step 3 is trying to find your clinic. And let's be honest, we all know that low-level panic of getting lost right before an appointment. Finally, there's the warm greeting. Your clients are making dozens of subtle observations here, and those observations directly influence their baseline sense of safety.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this busts a major industry myth. A lot of the time, we kind of panic thinking we need to spend an absolute fortune to project this intimidating image of luxury and perfection. But if you look over on the right, what clients are actually looking for is an organized, clean, and consistent environment. A simple therapy room feels exceptionally professional if it's just thoughtfully prepared. Professionalism is demonstrated through consistency, absolutely not luxury. And this concept of consistency applies directly to you too. Let's talk about professional personal presentation. There's really no strict uniform for a hypnotherapist. You might wear business attire, or maybe you prefer smart casual. What truly matters is that your appearance communicates competence and respect. Good personal hygiene, appropriate grooming, and a calm, approachable manner, that is your real uniform. The ultimate goal here is authenticity, just ensuring your client feels entirely comfortable and isn't distracted by what you're wearing. Moving right along to Section 2, setting the therapeutic stage. Setting this stage is really all about communicating that you have deeply considered your client's well-being without even saying a single word. You want an environment that minimizes distractions so they can feel completely safe. And whether you're working in person or digitally, the professional expectations are identical. For a physical clinic, you need a quiet space, a comfortable temperature, supportive chairs, and strict privacy. But look at the online setup on the right. Your supportive chair is now a rock-solid internet connection. Your comfortable temperature translates to professional lighting and camera positioning. And you absolutely must have backup plans if technology fails. Clients deserve the exact same standard of care regardless of the medium. All right, Section 3, Managing the Backstage. We've covered the front of house, so now let's peek at the administrative engines keeping everything running safely. To see these backstage systems at work, let's look at a quick case study with a client named James. So, James books a session. Step 1, he gets immediate confirmation. Step 2, he receives clear directions and cancellation policies early on. Step 3, he arrives to a warm welcome and an on-time start. Step 4, his paperwork is completely pre-prepared and organized. Notice what's happening to James psychologically here. He hasn't even experienced hypnosis yet, but his nervous system is already relaxing because your preparation literally screams competence.
So the crucial point here is that reliable appointment management demonstrates a profound respect for both your client and yourself. You need to start sessions on time. You must confirm appointments in advance and communicate promptly if anything changes. And you absolutely must avoid regularly running overtime. That just creates this massive domino effect of stress for your next clients. Consistency builds confidence, and clients really appreciate knowing exactly what to expect from you. Another huge piece of that backstage engine is how you handle your clinical records. Good records support continuity of care and really assist your clinical decision-making. They must be accurate and objective, meaning you leave out any unnecessary personal opinions or assumptions. They need to be clear and legible. They also have to be promptly completed to maintain an accurate history and, of course, securely stored to protect client trust. Always remember to write these notes with the utmost respect. Why does this matter? Well, because one day they might be reviewed by the client themselves, another healthcare professional, or even a legal authority. Which brings us to Section 4, Boundaries and Confidentiality. Establishing crystal clear boundaries and fiercely protecting sensitive information, that is literally the ultimate foundation of trust in any therapeutic relationship. When we talk about confidential information, we define it as personal information that must be protected and managed appropriately. But I want to be very clear here. Confidentiality extends way beyond the private conversations you have during therapy. It includes client records, your appointment books, emails, invoices, the whole shebang when it comes to electronic files. Clients trust that their personal data will be treated with absolute care, which means you must use secure systems for everything. To actually maintain these boundaries, though, you've got to communicate them upfront. Honestly, so many problems can be completely avoided by establishing clear policies before therapy even begins. You need protocols for appointments, cancellations, payments, and confidentiality. But don't forget the edge cases. What are the communication rules outside of sessions? What do your emergency procedures look like? What are the hard expectations for online sessions? Providing this information early creates realistic expectations, prevents awkward misunderstandings, and protects both you and the client.
And our final section, Section 5, Evolving Your Practice.
The truth about professional practice management is that it's honestly never truly finished. It's this ongoing journey of organization that directly supports better therapy. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we care about all this admin in the first place. Effective systems equal better clinical focus. Time management is often a totally overlooked aspect of professionalism. If you're consistently running late, appearing rushed, or forgetting administrative tasks, it damages client confidence and completely ruins your own well-being. But strong systems, they stop you from reacting to administrative stress. You free your mind up to focus entirely on the clinical work.
Which brings us to the whole concept of continuous improvement. This is the ongoing process of evaluating and refining your professional practice. As your experience grows, outstanding practitioners don't just sit back. They actively seek client feedback to find valuable insights. They continually refine their business systems, upgrade their technology, and sharpen their client communication. Continuing professional development isn't just about learning a cool new hypnosis script. It's about upgrading the entire client experience from top to bottom.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with a really powerful reflection directly from the source text. How can I make this experience even better for my clients? I challenge you to audit your own practice today. What hidden administrative stress is secretly bleeding into your therapeutic presence? Remember, you don't need a luxury clinic, but you do need absolute, reliable consistency. If therapy truly begins before you ever say, close your eyes, what is your practice saying to your clients right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.